welcome back to the podcast that helps you fight diabetes. We are Jen and Travis here doing Tube Talk / The Boost. We don't even know what we call this thing anymore. I'm Travis.
We don't. We have no idea.
Jen. I say fighting diabetes because I just was... Anyway, that's a long story. Anyway, so I'm super excited for today because we were able to do the impossible last week, Jen.
And?
We did 2 episodes in 1 week.
Oh, yeah. I know. We were awesome last week.
Our last week selves were so awesome.
Yeah. How do we feel about ourselves this week?
Listen, it's early.
No comment?
I have no comment on this right now. But we got a lot of great comments from y'all in the last couple episodes on the YouTube channel. And, of course, in the emails and text messages, which we will go over today. But thank you all for joining us. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome. We've actually got a lot of new listeners. And I saw in some of the emails that people are telling us their journey of how they found us. And I love that, by the way. Continue. If you are new and you're sending us an email or a text message, tell us how you found us, because I love those. And those are great. Okay. So we're going to start with the text messages. Now, if you're listening to the audio podcast, if you're listening to audio only, in the show notes, there's a link there that says text us. If you click that, it'll send us a text message. And we're going to start there before we get to the emails. Here we go. First one up. Here's the irony. Hey there, candy corn lovers, candy corn haters, and maybe Rob and Dan. I'm sure they'll fall into one of those categories.
Rob and Dan. Wait, I feel like Dan would love candy corn. I feel like Rob would hate it.
It's the word. You know what?
I don't know if that's true. That's an assumption, but that's just how I categorize their personalities.
Interestingly, we will have Rob on an upcoming episode here, so we will ask him directly. I don't know what the answer to that is. And for those that are wondering what the heck is going on, you've had to listen to the last couple episodes. A lot of candy corn discussion going on. Okay. Here we go. I've been following Tube Talk for some time and have gone deep into the archives when Rob and Dan ran the show. And while I love the formats before, the chemistry between Jen and Travis is absolutely amazing and truly feels different than before, and that they're actually pumped to talk about the show, which is great. 23 and a half, 7, so like 24/7. Thank you for that. That's amazing.
Wait, I love that. I love that so much. That is that's awesome to hear about. Because I felt like someone else left a comment that was similar on the video itself. That was like, we just love to talk about YouTube.
Well, I think to this person's point, and we'll get to the rest of it here in a second. We do. We love talking about it. It just so happens that Jen and I are friendly. We have a great friendship, and we love talking about YouTube. And we love doing the podcast together. So of course it comes across, I think, in the episodes. If y'all only knew what happened when we're not recording, jeez. Anyway,
I know, it's so funny. But that's not always YouTube.
It's all YouTube related. I started my channel, Muscles and the Multiverse, in October of 2022, and recently got fully accepted into YPP, the partner program. Awesome. While I've known that ad revenue should not be your only source of revenue for a channel because it's damn fickle, you're not wrong about that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been navigating my other sources. One of the lowest hanging fruits via YouTube is memberships. I got 2 levels set up and finally launched it yesterday. Well, sort of. It's at least live. I'm not sure the best way to go about promoting it. Of course, there's a community post, or I could make a video about it, but that just seems weird. I realize that this is part of me being okay. I realize that part of me is just being okay with saying, hey, I have a membership if you want to support me. Ultimately, my big question here is, what is the best way to let people know you have a membership, especially when you're first getting it off the ground? Thank you for everything. You're in my AirPods and car speakers every damn week, and I love it. Excelsior. P.S. Candy corn is delicious, even if every single piece was in existence since 1917.
Yes. This is bunker food. Like, gross. We will take candy corn to the end of the earth with us.
Terrible.
Wait, I do feel like this question could actually be a good video question.
It is a pretty good one. We've actually answered this one kind of from someone else before. We could definitely create the video for the main channel on this subject because a lot of people who have this question is like, what
we're just getting it more and more. I just feel like people are becoming hyper aware of it.
Yeah, I mean,
have a lot of questions.
When are you able to get memberships? Is it like pre 1,000 subs, or is it the one that's after 1,000 subs? Can't remember. Is it like 500? Because you know that like pre.
Yeah, like the first tier of monetization.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't want to get it wrong.
I almost feel like it's a later unlock, but I'm not sure.
I'm positive we're going to get a bunch of comments about this. But regardless, it is a good one. Yeah, we could totally do that. So for those that are just listening, go ahead.
You just have to be totally monetized.
Oh, okay.
1,000 subs, 4,000 watch hours.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, we can do that. So for people who are wondering what we're talking about, we decided over the last couple of weeks, in order for us to be able to give you 2 podcasts a week, the way in which we can do that is because we have to do a video on the main channel at least once a week, right? In order to do that time-wise, we're now squeezing them from segments of the podcast, and we just shoot the video in the middle of the podcast. We've done that for a couple of episodes, and it's kind of a behind-the-scenes look of how we do this stuff. But we're doing it in a more casual way, so I think it's easier for us. Okay, so what I need to do is I've already read it, which means I need to like wave, and so I can tell my editor what's up. So let's see. Okay, 6:10. I'm gonna tell the people that at 6 minutes, I'm gonna tell the editor it's 6 minutes.
Never gets old. 6
minutes, we talk about this. Okay. So for the editor, I just read the text message before, so I'll send you a link to a screenshot of the text message so that you can, show it as I'm reading it. Of course, edit out the parts that are not important for this, but essentially, the question is going to be how would you phrase this, Jen? Like, how do you
start channel members?
Yeah, like how do you promote it? Because you know what it really is? You know what this comes down to is imposter syndrome.
Yeah, feeling like you're not worthy of people supporting you.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that. So now I got to do the intro part. So everyone prepare to laugh because I don't get this the first time.
And I don't very use a script. Often.
And I don't use a script.
I feel like you don't really have that clear of a vision right now
what
you're going to say.
I never do. Do you know how my mind works is as I'm saying the things, my mind is only 3 or 4 words ahead of me trying to figure out what the next word is I'm going to say. And every once in a while, my mouth catches up to my brain and I'm out. And I have nothing. I don't know. That's when I go blah, 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 blah.
Wow. Mine works so differently.
How does yours work?
Mine works where as I'm mid-sentence for one thought, my brain has already started thinking about something completely different, and then I just stop speaking.
I also just realized we are wasting the editor's time. Let me make sure that I'm actually going to change the timestamp on this and tell them, okay, so let me, okay, we're at 8 minutes now. The original timestamp was 6. We're at 7:53. Okay, I'm going to say 8 minutes.
Hit him with the intro.
Okay, look. So for the editor, we just, about 3 minutes ago, I read a text message from a creator. That's what you're going to use. I'll send you the image for it. And here's the video for that. So you're newly into I just really can't believe I'm about to do this. I have no idea what I'm going to say. We're all going to hear for the first time.
We believe in you.
I'm hearing it for the first time myself. Like I have no idea what I'm going to say. Okay, here we go. Are you new to the YPP program here on YouTube and now you're monetized and don't know how to ask people to sign up for your memberships? I personally think it is imposter syndrome. Today, Jen and I are going to talk about that very thing as we got a message from one of you here on The Boost by vidIQ. All right.
I feel like that went pretty well.
Well, all right. Those words didn't exist a couple minutes before, actually 10 seconds before I said them. They didn't exist. Okay. So let's talk about this.
All right.
All right, Jen. So this message came in, and I think this creator has the same problem a lot of people do, which is trying to figure out what their value is to their audience.
I think that you kind of really nailed it. Just hit the nail on the head with imposter syndrome, because I think that is the underlying cause here when we think about what are strategies for actually moving forward with channel memberships. How do I announce them? Do I make that separate video? Do I just make a community post? What do I really do to drive action to making the sales for my community to now become members? And I think that overcoming imposter syndrome, that's number one. That's got to be number one. And while I don't think you'll ever fully overcome it with this, but we have to make steps. And I think that identifying one very specific value that you're going to be giving away and feeling really confident in that is a great place to start. So if we're talking channel memberships, you of course have the ability on YouTube now to schedule members videos, not even just members videos, schedule all videos for members specifically early. If that's what your main thing is right now, then think about how can I advertise this in the most organic way? if that's throughout content, that could be putting that one sentence out there. If you're talking about the videos, if you like this video and you want to watch it early, check out my membership so that you can have access first. Little things like that. What do you think of that as like a first step, Travis?
I think it brings me back to a conversation we had with another creator about this exact same subject. And we told them that things like getting access to the video early might be good for them. And they weren't sure. That you almost could feel through the message that they thought, well, who's going to pay for that? Well, the thing is, you'd be surprised at what people will pay for, especially when they want to connect with you closer. Now, if it means, members only live streams or getting access to the videos first, that you can comment on their comments first, you can't put a value on it when I should say, let the viewer put the value on it and not worry about it yourself. Sometimes we think that, hey, I can't charge 99 cents just to see my video earlier, $1.99, or I'm only going to put a couple community tab posts out. So is that really worth $2, $3 a month? It's not up to you to decide that. You can set the price accordingly and make it, whatever you think is worth it. But your fans are actually going to tell you what the value is. You'd be surprised. And I think we heard back from that same creator later on, and they were saying, yeah, I can't believe it. People are actually signing for it. They love it and they want it. That's because viewers want to make a deeper connection with you. Give them access to that through your memberships. There's tons of ways, as Jen said. Again, you could do the members only live streams if you have a couple of those. And of course, letting access to your videos first. As a matter of fact, we do that sometimes on the vidIQ channel. I think that's a fun little thing.
I also think that if you're a creator in the position where you're a smaller creator and you don't have a large enough community yet to have a standalone stream, you can offer playbacks as part of your membership. You can have those lives only stream to members, and then now they're paying to watch at a time that's convenient for them. Whereas a smaller audience, everyone probably can't show up at the same time. And then that does put a lot of stress on the creator of feeling just uncomfortable and awkward. But there's tons of little things that mean so much to your community. Personally, I focus on the emojis, the little emotes. I made it so that anytime I was in the comments, I only used those, and all of them were inside jokes to the community. So someone on the outside wants to be on the inside. They want to understand the jokes, they want to have access, and nobody wants to feel left out. So having something that makes people feel like an insider and feel like they are a special group of people and even closer to you, it's like the smallest, cheapest way and such a high value takeaway.
And you know what's funny? We actually have a lot of inside jokes here on the Boost.
We should do that.
Including candy corn. And if you want to know more about why we think candy corn and dead plants are funny, you can always check us out in the audio podcast link in the description of this video. Then you can be part of the inside. I'd also like to add 2 more things you can do to add value to your viewers. Number 1, and let me say that again, that you can add value to your viewers. Number 1, you can put their name at the end of videos. I've seen people do this before, where you can say thanks to my Patreons and thanks to my members, and just put them as like the ending scrolling credits at the end of your video. Or you can do this other cool idea, which I love because it's even more interactive, is give your members an opportunity to ask you a question that you will answer in video form on your next video. What a cool idea that is for a viewer who wants to connect deeper with you and gets an access to your answers directly to them in one of the videos that they get to watch. You'd be surprised at how much that delights people.
These were really good tips. I feel like we gave some solid ideas for people to think about and make their own.
I would like to say we are geniuses, and could be wrong. Maybe we don't keep that part in the video, but
not YouTube experts, YouTube geniuses.
We're YouTube geniuses. Let me put one of those college hats on me right now. Thank you very much. If you like this video, we have others just like it. Check out this playlist, and we'll see you in the next one. All right.
Wait, do you know what I need to add to my shelf now?
Do it.
A YouTube diploma.
That's not a bad idea. We have all these ideas for all these cool things. We never do them. We need all these things.
I know, we never follow through. Like, we are the people we coach to follow through.
Yeah, we don't take our own advice? We actually did a video on that and we never released it. There you go. Look at that. We're geniuses. Okay, let's get back to the questions. All right. Geez, this person sent a bunch of text messages. I can't figure. Okay, I think it's all okay. What can I do for better retention on Minecraft gaming videos? I do my best, but they still don't have above 20% retention. Love the podcast. Okay, so there's do I be patient and keep uploading or change my strategy? So It depends. Obviously, without seeing your videos, it's hard to know. But you can usually figure out what you should be doing in the content by looking at people, your contemporaries, people that are in your niche, that are doing well. And I don't mean like the multi-million subscriber channels, because a lot of times they win by having a viewership that loves them, less the content, but more them. But look at creators that are a little bit bigger than you that are getting lots of views. Those are the ones you really want to figure out how to crack the egg of the algorithm. Whenever I'm looking for breakout videos, I actually look at quote smaller content creators with large views, because they're kind of beating the system in a way, and then trying to figure out what they have done to connect with an audience. What do you think, Jen?
I think the outlier tool is my favorite tool.
Yes, indeed. The outlier tool
For
is
that
awesome.
reason alone. Honestly, you could use no other tool from vidIQ and it would be worth it to have it for the outlier alone.
Yeah.
Like
yes.
Alone. That's my opinion. That is my absolute favorite. But that's exactly what I use it for exactly what you're talking about. Smaller channels, better views.
Small channel, big views.
Yeah. Another t-shirt.
I know, right? That's small channel, big views. That could be one of our follow-up episodes, like small channel, big views.
Small channel, big views.
It's almost like it almost feels like a History Channel TV show. Small channel, big views. I don't know. Okay. Next text. Hello, Travis and Jen, and probably a guest. I don't know. Just want to ask a question. But first, I want to say I love you guys and all the help you've given to other people. Anyways, you guys said it's best to use the YouTube studio library for music, but I'm a bit lazy to search. What are your top 10 YouTube songs, or which ones do you use? Warm regards. I think so the music just depends on people, right? I'll tell you an artist that I really love from there is Otis McDonald. He does a lot of really cool, like funky music, and he has a YouTube channel as well where he actually shows you how he makes the videos in his music studio, which is really cool. So he'll make a song and record the process on a live stream, and then edit it down, and then sometimes put those songs in the YouTube audio studio. Do you use anyone from the audio studio you can think of?
I've never used YouTube Music.
It's good
an
now.
Epidemic girl.
Yeah, I also use.
I've just had Epidemic for so long. I have nothing against it. I've just had it for so long.
It's great. But yeah, Otis McDonald, I would say, is one of my favorite people. But you know, the thing is, they have this search assistant in the studio now, where you just go in and you type. You can actually, it's almost like AI. You like find melodic electronic music for space themed video game exploration, and it'll find a whole bunch of music that's like matches that theme.
That's
so
cool.
They've made it even easier. They made it, they put a little AI in there, and now you don't even have to say find Otis McDonald. You can say, give me some funk music with a guitar that's great for vlogging, and then they'll give you music.
I was gonna say what you're looking for music for. I think is more important than the artist.
You're so smart.
I play a game in the car by myself with music, where like if I don't know the words and I can't sing, then I think about exactly what movie scene this song would go to.
Yeah.
I just like score fake videos in my head as I drive. It's a fun game.
Here's a text message. In regards to listening to advice from your viewers' content, this is viewer comments from your content. So this is from I think our last episode or so, where we talked about when you get mean comments, which by the way is going to be spun off into a main channel video. And one of the things we said was, sometimes you get some good ideas from there, but also don't take everything to heart. This person says, the customer may always be right, but they might not always be bright. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Good.
You're not wrong. Oh my gosh, that's good. Okay, next one. Hey, Jen and Travis and whoever else is there. My name is Nick, and I'm from Canada. And I've been listening to this podcast since before you all started hosting it. But by the way, what happened to Viper? So Viper is doing his thing. He's out on the YouTubes. He's still around and still talking to him. Every so often. We still talk. I've known him since 2018, so he's never not going to be my friend. Did Jen kidnap him to take over the pod? No.
Yes.
I love what you guys are doing with the show. I have two questions. My channel has been inactive for the past 2 years-ish, other than shorts, and has just under 7,000 subscribers who get excited when I post. I've started a wildlife education business and wanted to create videos featuring my animal ambassadors, as well as document wildlife like shark diving. Wow. Or searching for dart frogs in Colombia. Ooh. I've rebranded the channel to Expedition Wild Side from Mr. Verurium. I archived some of the old videos, gardening and houseplants, that don't fit the niche, but I'm also wondering if I should remove all of them and upload new content, even though I do have old videos that are animal related. So let's try to tackle that first. So he's got this, he's going into like a wildlife education business now, and he has old videos about gardening and houseplants that don't really fit the niche. Should you, remove them? We've talked about this before. I have a strong feeling about this, but what would you say to this creator?
Bye-bye. Get rid of them.
Yeah.
Anything that's bringing, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot of these videos are bringing in traffic still, but you have to think about what someone's going to want to keep watching if they're brought in from the new content.
Yeah.
And if you feel like some of those videos would in fact be good for the audience that you're going after now, then it could make sense to keep them. But if anything's bringing in traffic that's not for the direction you're moving in, they got to go.
Yeah, I agree with this. And YouTube will even tell you, same audience, same channel, different audience, new channel. It always comes down to that. Number 2, with the new videos being more unchoreographed, since animals are unpredictable, do you have any tips on incorporating storytelling into this type of content? I know Brave Wilderness is great at storytelling, and I'd love some tips. I also find encouraging that they have 21 million subscribers, as it shows there's room to grow in this niche. And also your advice about making friends with other YouTubers is spot on. I attended AnimalCon, basically VidCon for animal creators, every other year and made tons of friends. It's great for bouncing ideas around. Storytelling so in a lot of ways is the same thing with kids, because kids are unpredictable. So storytelling is a very interesting topic. How would you tackle this?
I would say you have to learn how to story spot, and that's going to be your most crucial and important skill, because you don't know what's going to happen, and you have to be able to spot that story as it's happening and develop it on the spot. And then of course in post after, fine tune it, tweak it, but story spotting is going to be the one skill you have to learn. Storyworthy by Matt Dix is an incredible book to learn and develop the skill. Highly recommend that book just to everyone in general, especially the audio version, because he's a professional storyteller and he narrates the book. So he tells his own stories the same way he would tell them on stage. But story spotting is an activity in that book. And I swear that's one thing that's like changed my life. But I don't know. You'll have to say if you get the book.
Interesting. I love the book recommendations. Yeah, I mean, I think story arcs are pretty much the same, whether or not you can predict something happening. And because to be honest, like most content that gets created on, well, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say on television.
Backtrack.
Let me backtrack on that. So most content on television isn't. No, a lot of that stuff is scripted. Even the quote reality stuff.
The Circle is real, Travis.
Listen, The Circle. I haven't started the last season because I'm back on. Hold on, I'll tell you why. Because a whole bunch of new episodes of Catfish came on Hulu, so I'm going through those.
You have been on Catfish. You need to finish The Circle, though.
I am going to. The newest season just dropped on The Circle like about a month ago, and it's sitting there waiting for me. But as soon as I get through Catfish, all right. Let me get back to answering this question. Speaking of Catfish, animals. So yeah, the story could be any number of things, and the fact that you found a channel that you can look at as your North Star is a great start. I would just take a look at some of their more popular videos and see and try to figure out like what is the story behind them, because I think when people say storytelling, people think that means one thing that it doesn't necessarily only mean. Some people think, oh, in the beginning there was this thing, and then there was this other thing. Sure, the structure of a story is going to keep people engaged all the way through, but the traditional storytelling, quote unquote, isn't necessarily what you think it is. And books like what Jen said are going to kind of help break your mindset of thinking, oh, I have to go in the beginning. There was this thing. No. You can show in the beginning there was this thing. You don't have to say it. There's different ways to storytell.
I think one of the biggest things that I learned over time through storytelling is that it doesn't have to be a life or death situation. Like you can tell a great story about your trip to the grocery store if you know how to tell a proper story. But that's why I feel like storytelling is like this one thing for people where it's like, whoa, this huge, big, crazy thing happened. And then you can do a really terrible job at telling that story too. Those are usually the harder stories to tell.
Yeah.
And then it's the small moments that you learn how to tell a good story that are the relatable moments that stick with people.
To be honest, storytelling is probably the one skill as a YouTuber you really need to know how to master to be a great content creator. It is underrated, underappreciated, not talked about a lot because it's very difficult to teach. It's easier to teach like, oh, edit here, or make sure your volume is good, or make sure you have lighting. Like that's easy to explain, but to tell someone how to be a good storyteller is difficult. And these resources that Jen has given you are a good place to start. Something that I'll probably name this entire video on because it is so important. All right, the last text message says, hey fam, my name is Nate. A few weeks ago, I asked you about doing a channel about painting lore for Warhammer 40K. Thank you for all the helpful advice in building a channel about something I'm passionate about. I hope I'm able to get started in the next few weeks as I have 2 full-time jobs that has me working 80 hours a week until mid-November. Oof. But I'm coming back with 3 more questions. 1, I want to figure out how to be myself in recordings. In my test runs, when I'm reading my script and trying to sound dramatic, I feel like I'm coming off as unenergetic and unenthusiastic. Any advice on maintaining both while not losing myself and my authenticity? I love this question, Jen.
This is such a good one.
I can remember specific things where I learned my lesson for this. And let me real quick get them out so I don't forget. And then I want to hear what you say about this. So, you know how they say the camera adds about 10 to 15 pounds on a person?
Yeah.
It also takes away about 50% of your energy. Like
yes,
what you think is coming across. I'll never forget, I was driving home from work one day and I was thinking about a video I was going to make. And I remember smiling about it. And I looked in my rearview mirror and looked at my face and I wasn't smiling. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought I was smiling. What's going on here? Like how do I think in my head I'm smiling, but when I look at the actual reflection, I'm not. And what ended up happening later, which was really interesting, it was another kind of like a moment. I was shooting a video, I did my intro, and I really thought I gave him my gusto. And just like this creator, I watched it back and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I was more excited than I'm coming across. What you end up learning how to do is pumping your energy up by about 15, 20%. I actually had this happen with a smaller creator about 1.5 years ago. And I think I've even talked about this in the podcast where I had them shoot the same intro 3 different ways. Way they normally speak, pumping their energy up 50%, 75%, and then like to the point where and then the last one was like, just be cringe, it was overly energetic. Right?
Step 3, cringe.
Cringe. When we went back to watch them, the 75% one was like the best one. 50 was really good too, but 75 was like, and when you first start doing it at first, it feels uncomfortable and like you're being fake, but you're not, because when you go back to watch the video, that energy will match the energy you thought you were giving when you first were doing the video. It's weird. It adds 10 pounds and takes away 30% of your energy. That's been my experience. What about you, Jen?
I have the opposite experience where I have to tone down my energy in real life.
That's because you're wacky.
Like I'm normal on camera because my energy is at a level it shouldn't be. And then in real life, they're like, you're yelling. Can you stop yelling? Like, can you?
I don't remember you yelling when I've talked to you in person. What are you talking about?
Just one step down. I have the opposite.
Who do you have in your life telling you that? They're lying to you.
I get told that I'm yelling like all of the time. Like all of the time.
I've never told you that.
I've had to say, like, I have one volume. It's loud. You have to get used to it.
Well, you know, in fairness, the last time I saw you was in a loud environment, so I probably wouldn't have noticed anyway.
That's true. How many times do you have to adjust my audio versus yours?
No comment. So back to the question. I have a fear
but it's true, though. There's a difference. That was my point. There's a difference no matter what in the way that you would normally interact with people versus the way you are on camera. Whether it's flip-flopped like me, there is a difference. It's still you, but you just alter it a little bit.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, I have a fear of copying other creators' styles in my work. how would you keep things original, but also keeping things similar enough to what other creators and viewers what other viewers who would watch my content for the same reasons would watch theirs? So basically, how do I make it so that it's still authentically him, but also not inauthentically copying someone else? You know what I mean? But I think we're saying the same thing here, which is essentially I think you're overthinking that. I think you just be yourself. People don't want to see a copy of another big creator. They want to see a new creator's twist on that topic. And I think if you just do the exercise we just talked about, where you film a couple different things, I think that's all you need. You don't necessarily want to copy their style. You do want to know what works, right? You want to see what works in your niche and figure out your twist on it. But I wouldn't overthink it. I think if you overthink it, you might end up copying people more than you'd want to. I think if you just do it, you probably won't. But trust me when I tell you, if you are, the audience will tell you, and then you just adjust from there. I mean, that's always the answer. And 3, I've saved the most important question for last.
Ooh.
Not only am I working 2 full-time jobs until November, but I also have a family consisting of a wife and a 3-year-old daughter. Any advice on how to balance work, family, and content creation within my niche? Side note, I'm also thinking about changing my name to something more akin to my niche. And the most recent video probably performing well. Okay, so this last one about balance. I can't really speak to this myself because I don't have a wife and kids or anything like that. I just grinded. I went to work. It took me 2 hours. It took me like an hour and change to get to work, and it would take me an hour and change to get home. And then I would just do YouTube work, and then I would eat and go to sleep. But that's not something that every family person could do. And Jen, to a lesser degree, your situation isn't as bad because your husband is also a creator, and has been in creating with you. So it's maybe not. I mean, what do you think about this? I don't know.
I think that it sounds like a lot. I don't have kids, so that's an element I don't know how to throw into the mix to juggle.
Yeah.
But I think that just setting a block of time during the day is super helpful. At least for me, even if that's just a half hour, it's something that's like in your schedule every day to work on YouTube. That way you don't fall into like a 3-hour block where you are just like brain dead editing, and then you're no fun to be around. And like you probably don't want to, play pretend with your 3-year-old. And it just gets you into such a mind warp there. So I like to break up the time throughout the week. Like if I'm going to spend half of my lunch doing something for YouTube, if I'm going to spend 45 minutes after work doing something very specific for YouTube, just having that built in and having it feel like part of my day and my job makes it seem a lot less overwhelming than to just be being like, when am I going to have that hour? When am I going to have that hour? When am I going to edit? When am I going to make a thumbnail? So that's just personally what works for me, but you do have more elements to juggle.
That's true. And I think the one thing you do have to do is pay attention to your family first, and that trumps everything. There comes a time where if your content creation turns into a business, obviously you need to section that off. But I think ultimately, and for me, I'm always going to say family first. Like there's no content creation that's more important than that. But definitely balance accordingly. Okay, we got a bunch of emails. So now we went from the text messages to emails. We take emails here at theboost@vidIQ.com, and this first one is about 3-minute shorts because, of course, it is. We didn't really talk about that yet. We'll talk more about it as it rolls out. Technically, it's rolled out, but not really. We can kind of talk about that. Let's see what this question is. Hello, guys. What do you think about 3-minute shorts? Will it be worth making them? Will you two push them more? Will people watch it? I'm looking forward to your answer. Thanks, Matt.
Wait, stop. Our questions are the same.
I know. We have a lot of the same questions. It's hard to say. I think the reason this exists is because I believe TikTok did something similar a while back, right?
Mm-hmm. TikTok has long shorts.
Yeah, I don't know how they perform over there. I don't really do TikTok. I think at first they'll definitely do well, as most things that are originally pushed out by YouTube tend to do well. They're new, so people want to experience them. Will they work long term? I don't know. Time will tell. Is it worth doing? Yes. Once you start seeing YouTube actually putting them on the short shelf, because as of right now, as of recording this podcast, even though you can make videos that are more than a minute and up to 3 minutes. They don't actually show up on the YouTube short shelf yet. They will potentially, but not yet. So when that final switch is flipped, I think everyone should test them out and see what happens. It does give you an opportunity for more storytelling. I still believe that the first 5 to 10 seconds are still going to be as critical as they ever were. I think they're still going to have to be highly edited, and storytelling has to be on point, especially for that first minute. And I think maybe after that minute, maybe you can relax a little bit, but we won't know until they roll out. Jen is a professional shorts hater, so she doesn't have a lot to say about it.
Oh my gosh, my reputation. Just the shorts hater. The shorts hater.
The shorts hater.
I don't know. These are interesting though. Because maybe people do want to watch longer content just vertically.
Yeah, maybe.
You want to know what's so weird? I will totally just blow up my sister's spot for this.
Oh, do it.
She will watch she'll watch a 10-minute video on TikTok.
Really?
She will not watch YouTube.
What, YouTube at all?
At all.
What? Why?
She just doesn't. She just doesn't use YouTube, doesn't follow anybody, like doesn't watch. But she will watch a 10-minute video on TikTok.
Terrible.
So like there's an audience for it. Why? I don't know the psyche behind it. I don't know what's wrong with her. But
disown her immediately.
I know. I know. But I'm assuming there's potentially something that carries over like that onto YouTube. I don't know why else it would exist if there wasn't some type of demand or success associated with it.
Yeah, I think when the time comes for us to speak on it, we'll have a lot of opinions and hopefully a lot of data. Stay tuned. And I'm sure there'll be a lot on the main channel as well. But it's a little early for us to give too many answers about it because there's a lot of unknowns. All right. This next one is an email that at first I almost deleted, and I'm like, no, I'm going to read it because I'm pretty sure a lot of our listeners have probably gotten a very similar email. Jen, we have our first spam email. Kind of spam.
Fantastic. Oh my gosh.
I mean, is it spam? It's spam, but it's not spam. So here's what it is.
Let's have it.
The subject is YouTube video SEO and YouTube growth expert, which at first I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, right? And then it's a bunch of screenshots of our channel with circles and arrows and everything else about how we could be doing things better. Hello there, greetings. I've already visited your YouTube channel, The Boost by vidIQ, and I saw your video. Really, your video content is very good, but you're not getting good results because your keyword section and SEO scores are very low. And they go on with all this stuff. But you know what the screenshots are, Jen? And I love this.
What?
They're using vidIQ tools to show us that stuff isn't working well. Oh, so of course he's selling the opportunity of him coming in and creating our SEO. He's going to audit our channel reporting. He help us with meta tag optimization. He'll optimize our channel, and then he has a portfolio of other things he's done. All right.
This is fantastic.
It's great. Now, I want to talk about a couple things because some people will be like, first of all, it's funny. It's funny to have someone use our tool and tell us, hey, you guys are not doing a good job.
Well, thank goodness they're using our tool to identify those weak spots.
I would say the opposite. I would say there's very few channels out there that have 1,200 subscribers that are getting like 400 views in less than 24 hours. I would go there first. But even beyond that, some of the things we talk about aren't like SEO friendly specifically, but they're not really meant to be. They're more like, this is a podcast, right? So the SEO kind of strategy on this is not exactly what you would think. We're not doing this is how you grow on YouTube kind of podcast, even though we're kind of answering those questions. As a matter of fact, we got comments, and we'd love to see this. Jen and I talk about this all the time. It's like, I'm tired of watching advice videos, but I love to watch your stuff. And we want that environment. We want that. We want you. We love talking about YouTube. Jen, when I started talking to Jen about this, the podcast idea in the first place, she was just talking about how obsessed she is about talking about YouTube, and she just wants to talk about YouTube. And I was the same way. I'm like, yeah, I love just talking about YouTube. And the growth strategies are part of that conversation, but there's a lot of things to talk about. And while I have definitely had a large vision for what this podcast could be and the direction it would go in, there's a lot of aspects of what we're doing that came specifically from Jen. and some of the things that she said in our early conversations. And this is one of them. That is that we're not necessarily doing this is how you grow all your YouTube stuff. Do this, that, and the other. No, we're like, let's just talk about it, right? Let's just talk about it and see what happens. And I think it was a brilliant plan.
Oh, Travis, you're being so nice.
I mean, why not? I think it's true. I think our audience would agree.
Yeah, but we were both in agreement that it was a fun direction to go to. Because I don't know if I can even articulate the difference it is between like the workday YouTube talk and then the podcast YouTube talk. But this just makes me feel like if I was around, my friends in real life, this is the stuff we would talk about as just normal conversation. Like we're not going to be, deep diving strategy. It's just going to be like, oh, what do you think I should do for announcing my memberships? And it's like, yeah, that's just something that we would talk about. And like, that's the best part. That is like the best part. That is the fun part. And to be able to do that here and people like recognize that it is something different is just super fun.
Okay. The subject for this is when to quit and when to start again. And in parentheses, just like I said in the last episode, make Jen read this. So Jen, do you have that email?
Wait,
or do I need to send it to you real quick? I can send it to you if you don't have it.
I have all of them. So let's see.
It's called When to Quit and When to Start Again. Make Jen read this. Came in 1 day ago.
1 day ago.
This will be good times.
Maybe Jen's I don't have that actually.
Are you not? What? Let me forward this to you.
Yeah.
Silly Jen.
I see ones from this morning that are unopened, but I don't see the one you're talking about.
I'll send it to you right now. Because this one needs to be read. It's by Mark.
Mark, what are you about to do to me?
And we're going to find out. I haven't really read it yet. It says make Jen read it, so I want to hear what's going on.
Make Jen read it. Oh, I can't even. Oh, maybe because it's like cut off.
Oh.
Like all I see is like when to quit, when to start, and then in parentheses it says make.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's go. All right. Good morning, Jen, Travis, and vidIQ crew. I love it. My question is when to quit one channel, when to start another. My situation is this. I started a channel, hobby focused, that niched down to model trains. But I recently learned that the total addressable market is about 200,000 people in North America, English speaking, not enough to support YouTube full time. Disagree. Even if I got 100% of it. See, I can't do this because I react to them while I'm reading.
I do too. Go ahead. Keep going.
Due to this, I'm switching to a different channel in the automotive niche where I have more credibility and more importantly, the TAM is 10 to 100 times greater. I have projects lined up for the current channel and even a video shot, but not edited. Would your advice be to finish out the planned content on the current channel or make a clean break and get moving on the new one? Part of me wants to finish things I came up with, but another part of me says that's the sunk cost and I should abandon the old and get started on the new. Also, bring back Bean Boozled.
Oh, dear.
Oh, this is I mean, it's hard to say that you can definitely make the money, but it would be, yes, a hustle. But it sounds like you're ready to move on no matter what. It feels like you've checked out of this other side and you've already kind of started moving on to the future anyways, which would make it hard to kind of backtrack.
Yeah, I feel like the sunk cost of the previous channel, if you're really just saying, okay, I'm done with it, then be done with it. But if it was something you're doing as a passion project, my question would be, do you ever have to be done with it? Like, do you have to be done with it? Did he say what the subject matter of the new channel was? He just said it was bigger, right?
No, he just said different channel in the automotive niche.
Automotive, okay.
Where I have more credibility, though.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I wonder
that's
what
a
that means.
very big key factor. More credibility. More importantly, the market is bigger.
Again, the thing is, every person who creates a YouTube channel has a different why, right? And it sounds like this person's why is definitely trying to address the largest total addressable market that's available, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. In which case, pretty easy advice. Drop the other one, move to this one. However, like I said, do you have to? I mean, because the other thing is, and we've talked about this before, that if you are not completely obsessed and in love with the subject matter you're making, it becomes a job and a chore that can burn you out. So if you have something that can be light and fun, kind of like this podcast, it can keep you going when you're doing all the other stuff. So
Yes.
is there a world in which you could still do both? Maybe you don't put as much time into the first channel, but you still put some time into it, especially when you're like feeling burnt out or creatively bankrupt or whatever.
Creatively bankrupt. I love that.
That's the new band that we're starting next week.
Oh, that's good.
Creatively bankrupt. I think that there's probably a world in which you could do both. And again, maybe just putting less stress about the success of the first channel after this, but just doing it for fun. And why not? If there's a reason that you can't, okay, and I'm not aware of, okay, fine, fair. However, I feel like the answer is somewhere in the middle.
Or both channels.
Or both.
Or both. If one's a hobby and you just upload whenever you have a hobby video.
Yeah.
Both.
Okay. Next one up. Dear Jen.
Wait, before we get into this, can we rate my reading skills? How did I perform as reading the email?
Can I just say, and while you all do that in email, I actually want to use you reading one for one of the videos because it came off really good. It sounded cool. Like it was something, it was good. I want to use it for an upcoming video. So I want you to read an email for one of the ones we do when we do for a video. 100% I want that. As you're reading, I'm like, oh, this is actually good. I definitely want you to do that again.
Oh, wait, she can read.
She's literate. We didn't know this before we hired you, but it's just a bonus.
Here I am, just pulling out all the surprises.
You mean she can read too? Give that woman a raise. But don't tell her how much it is. All right. Here we go. Dear Travis, Jen, and or to whom it may concern. I found your show on Spotify a couple of weeks ago by searching YouTube podcasts and become a routine listener. Thanks for letting me know. Again, these are things that are important to me. And I'll be honest, stories like this are the main reason that while we originally said we were going to change the name of the audio portion of the podcast to The Boost to kind of make sense with everything else we do, I haven't, because I'm worried about the search engine optimization of people searching for YouTube podcasts. And if we change the name, if that would mess anything up, because I don't know enough about how Spotify ranks search or anything like that, or Apple Podcasts or something where we have a very long backlog of stuff. And I don't want to mess that up. So I've actually settled down on changing the audio. That's why I have such a problem in the intro, because the audio podcast is still called Tube Talk. The video YouTube channel is called The Boost. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Tube Talk is a cooler podcast name, though. I will say that.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm in my 10th year of teaching elementary general music and choir, and I'm a composer, writing mostly music for youth choir.
That's so sweet.
That's amazing. I started my channel a couple months ago for a few reasons. I've submitted a few of my pieces for publication, but I take issue with the industry standard of only paying a composer 10% royalty, and the other 50% goes to the publisher and 40% going to the seller. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know this. I just feel the access to the internet and social media, there's a huge potential to reach choir directors directly with my music so I can write and sell on my own terms. You know what? I salute you. I absolutely salute you. I want to document and show the writing process of each of my pieces, but I realize it's not the most captivating thing to watch. And there's also a lot of thinking and reviewing time in the raw footage. Even if I'm talking to the camera about what ideas are popping in my head while I screen share notation, I acknowledge it's a slow burn. Okay. I have 2 kids under 3 and a second church job, so I don't have a ton of time to edit. But should I just bite the bullet and squeeze editing time into my week and cut the videos down just to show the interesting parts? Or do you think this raw style will work as a live stream? Any ideas as to what I could be focusing on to increase engagement and reach the correct people? Before I hit the PS, because he left a PS. I love this. And we just got off talking about a total addressable market from another creator. The total addressable market, this is going to be super small. However, be very impactful. And it will be talking directly to the people you want to talk to. Because here's the thing, with an average YouTube channel that might be talking about video games or something or whatever it is, you can get a bunch of people that are just casual. They come by your channel, they watch one or two things, and you never hear from them again. Then you have the hardcores, and you have the people in between hardcores and the casuals that like watch a couple times a week, maybe don't listen for or don't watch for a couple of weeks, and then come back you have like these kind of three types of viewers. I think your type of content is almost all going to be hardcores. So the good news is you'll start reaching those people kind of sooner in your YouTube journey than you probably would anything else. The bad news is that number is not going to be super huge. I don't think. I could be wrong on this, but I don't think it's going to be super huge. But for a business, it's going to be rich. It's going to be great. It's going to be, you're talking exactly to the people you want to be talking to in every single video. It's going to be very few casual people because of the type of content you're going over. Now, how do you do it? You could do it a couple ways. You could live stream your filming and have that be available for anyone who wants to watch later, and then edit parts out of the live stream to make it a more snappy video. That's probably how I would do it. That way you get the best of both worlds. What would you do, Jen?
Yeah, I feel like that is very, very good advice. I would probably try some type of highly discoverable video. I don't know how much content they'll be putting out, but making sure there's a really, really known component that would grab someone's attention. For music, it's often, a really popular song, a really well-known artist, whatever that is. I would try to identify how that could make sense for your content, and then do one of those more high-effort videos once a month, every other month, to see if it will bring in the people that will then, like Travis said, just be that hardcore community watching every single piece. But I do think you're going to have to try to figure out what that exactly looks like.
I agree. And I think it's wonderful what you're doing, and it also makes sense from the perspective of the way the industry currently works is kind of crappy the way you explained it. And certainly doing it on your own is a good way to kind of say, look, I'm bringing value. Why am I only getting 10% of that value? That's crazy.
I know. That is crazy. Now they can all link together and stand strong, demand more.
Dang on right. P.S. You mentioned on a previous episode how you use the phrase statistically insignificant a lot. So I did what I do, and I wrote you a jingle per the email subject. If you like it, feel free to use it however you see fit. My gift to you, I give all necessary permission to use in your videos if you so desire. Check out my video on how I wrote and recorded it. Okay, we're definitely going to watch that after this.
Oh!
But let's listen to the little jingle. Are you ready, Jen?
I just don't know.
As you were answering, I just put it on my sound pad. So here we go.
That is statistically insignificant.
Yeah. I think we're just going to use that whenever we can. You got to be watching the YouTube video right now because Jen is losing her mind.
I was just like so short and snappy, but also made it feel really positive.
I know, right? I think this is going to be something we will be using randomly in the upcoming podcast. I'm definitely going to watch that video.
Hero! Oh my gosh! Thank you.
What an amazing thing! I love this. This is amazing. Oh, and we got the keychains are coming that we were promised as well. We got all type of fans are giving back. I don't know what to say about that. I'm so humbled.
Can we get it once more, Travis?
That is statistically insignificant.
Yeah. I love the yeah at the end. Yeah. I'm going to watch the YouTube of how he created that. Maybe if I can remember to do it, I'll put it in the show notes in case you guys are interested. Show notes and the description of the YouTube video if you want to watch how he made that, because apparently he has a how he made it YouTube video. So we'll put that in there. Thank you, Jenna.
Amazing.
Love it. Okay. we're about to land this plane. We got like 2 or 3 more. Hi, Jen and Travis. I'm really enjoying your podcast here in New Zealand. Let's go, New Zealand. Kiwis. Thank you for taking the time to give great down-to-earth advice in a fun and entertaining way. Would you ever consider doing videos offering niche-specific advice? I have an art tips channel, and sometimes I struggle to apply general advice to my niche. I recently watched a video featuring Chris Gilletta, who mentioned that art channels often have a lower CTR, one of the things I did not know. I want to set realistic goals, but I'm in this for the long haul. I try new things to improve my videos, especially CTR and audience retention. Mine is mostly awful, around 20 to 40%. But usually just end up getting confused. I don't know what a reasonable retention rate is for a channel like mine. Thank you again. Can't wait for your next video. I actually have worked with an art channel, an art studio for their YouTube channel. But their end result, what they wanted is to get people in either into their store or to buy their art. So it's different there. I don't know what the content looks like on this channel. Like what they say it's an art channel, right? But they don't necessarily tell us what that means. Like, is it them painting? Is it them drawing? Like, what does that mean? They say an art tutorial, art tips channel, but what type of art? What are thoughts that come directly to your head?
This is what makes me just think of coaching. Like all the questions you're saying right now is everything that we unlock in the beginning when someone joins one-on-one, because it's such important information to give you those numbers, to even make those assumptions. You know, what are you trying to do? Why are you trying to do it? Who exactly are you trying to reach? You know, what are your big goals? What are your small goals? So there's so many questions and so much to unlock. That's really more important than even the numbers that you're looking for. So that's what it makes me think of. So without that information, it'd be really, really challenging. But I mean, maybe one day Travis and I do calls.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
that would be a hoot. They would never stay in the time block.
So here's what we may do. When we do live streams, we might do a call-in show, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. That is the dream. To answer your question, I think much like anything, no matter what niche you're in, you really got to kind of understand what you want the end result to be. If you just want to teach people, because you said is a tutorial and tips, if you just want to help people learn how to paint better or to draw better or whatever the case may be, that's pretty easy to do. There's tons of channels out there that do this. I want you to find 2 or 3 that match your style. So in other words, I need you to go on YouTube and find 2 or 3 that match your style, and then read the comments. In the comments, you will find what people are connecting with and what parts of the video they're connecting with and the style that they're connecting with. And then I want you to think, okay, is this something that I have a superpower in? Can I connect with these people? Is it the way they taught this thing? Is it a camera angle they use? Is it, background they gave about a particular technique? I want you to write all those things down. And for 3 to 4 videos in a row, I want you to make sure that every single one of those videos has every single aspect that you wrote down in the video. So if it's like a 7 or 8 minute video or a 10-minute video, and you've written down 7 things that people like about it, make sure every single one of those things you can see in the video. Maybe it's a specific camera angle, like I said before, a technique, a history. Make sure you've done all of those things. Give it some time and see what happens on the performance of those videos. Then you can go back to shooting videos the way you always have, and then see what happens. And then pay attention to the comment section and see if you're starting to see the same comments. You'd be surprised that by and large, I mean, humans be human, as I always say, but we like a lot of the same things. And if we find that something works with a particular group of people, it's very likely to work for another group of people. So give that a shot. It's a little bit of specific homework, which I don't normally do on here, but I think this really, to be honest, applies to literally any type of channel listening to this. You can do the same thing and see what happens. Might be surprised.
Fire, Travis.
I'm trying.
Absolute fire.
We got 3. You know what's funny is while we were doing this, we got a couple of YouTube comments come in. So I'm actually going to read those, but we have 2 more emails. We'll do those and we'll read the comments last. All right, here we go. Hi, Jen Travis. Thanks as always for a great show. It was great getting 2 episodes last week, and I hope you realize how the high bar you've set for yourselves with that. The Boost Daily coming in 2025. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. I mean, all right. Anyway, I had a question about following up on a successful video. I actually feel like this might be another episode. I had a question about, I recently had one of my videos blow up, and as of this writing, it's sitting at 132,000 views and rising. But because of it, I just broke the 500 sub barrier, and my watch hours are now well over the 2,000 mark. I have a direct follow-up video poised and ready to go, having posted some other non-sequential videos in the interim to avoid breaking my posting schedule. But was wondering if you had any suggestions or guidelines on judging the right moment to do so. The original video is still getting views, and albeit only 100 an hour compared to the heights of 1,000 per hour. So I loathe to eat into success. At the same time, I dropped it. When can I drop the sequel to capitalize on this wave of popularity? Yeah, I actually want to make this into a video because it's so, I get this a lot by creators. I got a video that popped up, blow up. What do I do? And as a matter of fact, this happened to you. And the video we just released on the vidIQ channel was about this exact thing. Your Newfie creator had a video that popped off, and he has immediate questions like, okay, well, what do I do? So that's what we're going to do. Let me go ahead and write the timestamps here. Okay, 1 hour. Okay. 1 hour. Okay.
Travis getting ahead, pumping out content.
All right, here we go. So this one, so for the editor, as you're now watching this, I just read the email. I'll send the email over. This one is about what to do when, and the comment is, or the email is, when is the iron still hot enough to strike? I love the comment here. When should you double down on content? All right, here we go. So you finally had a video pop off and get tons of views, but you don't know what to do next or when to do it. Today, Jen and me, dang, I had it.
Travis.
Grammar got me. Grammar tripped me
I feel like you could cut that. I think you could cut that. Today, I think you could go from today.
Today, Jen and I are going to talk about exactly what you should do when you have a video. Take it. Oh, here we go. Today, Jen and I are going to talk about exactly what you should do when one of your videos takes off on the Boost by vidIQ. All right, cool. So now let's just talk about it. All right. So Jen, we got this creator. Something went viral for them, 132,000 views, and they're wanting to follow up on something like that, but they're afraid of stepping on it, releasing a video that's going to, like, you know, kind of step on its success. I have a lot of thoughts about this, but what are yours?
Ooh, I think this is a tricky one. I think this is a hard decision for every creator to make. And it's hard to say. Are we looking at making a video that is similar? Are we looking at making a part 2? I think the details of the video matter a little bit when making this decision. What do you think?
Yeah, so I've seen this a lot before, and the thing that most people are worried about is, while it's still getting a lot of views, should you release your next video on that subject? So let's start with what you should be releasing next. Obviously, something that's topically related. Think about the video just released that it's doing so well. What is the next type of video that the viewer is going to want to watch? If you released a video about cake, obviously you should do a video about icing, right? That's the thing. That's what we do here on vidIQ. We do cake-related content. That's what we talk about all the time. All right. This is getting edited out.
For the cake.
I don't know how to talk about anything else other than cake. All right. Back to what I was saying. All right. So once you have that figured out, the next thing is, when should you release it? And when you're looking at the views during the course of any particular hour, you'll see them go up and down and up and down. And you always want to release them when they're kind of down, so you can help boost that original video back up. There's a couple of things you want to do very specifically. So once you release the video, as you see the views from that previous video starting to kind of taper off, you want to go back to that old video and change the end screen to point to your new video, go into the description, link to your new video, and go into the comment section and pin a comment to that new video. And in your new video, go into the end screen and point to the old video, and go into the description and point to the old video. And you want to do this so that there's a continuation of views between each. You got to remember, the new video is going to go out to people who didn't see the first video, which is why you want to link the old video to the new. Once you've made that data connection, YouTube will naturally put that in the up next section here on YouTube, which is a great way to get into suggested. I actually talked about that exact concept in a previous video. I'll put a link up here, so you should definitely go watch that video as well.
I think it's really important to know that you can make this happen for yourself. If you have content a year ago, 2 years ago, that had performed really well, you can still double down on that content if you have updated information, new information. If it's the same type of video, but with, you know, say it was a gaming video and now there's a different game that's newer, maybe it's similar, you can make that same style video. Even if it's just a yearly update video for, you know, whatever information you're sharing. But there's typically always a way to double down on content that did well. So yes, you do want to follow and chase the momentum, but if that's not the case in your situation, there still could be ways to now make that momentum.
And in this particular case, this creator said they went from 1,000 views per hour down to about 100. This is probably a safe bet to go ahead and start releasing this next follow-up video. I think it's super important to also remember that while a video has been out and seen by a bunch of people, the next video put out will probably be suggested to them on their homepage. And this creator said that they put some kind of non-sequential videos in between the popular video and this next video. Whenever possible, try to avoid that. Try to make your next video directly connected to the previous video, giving YouTube a good indication of the type of people that are going to like your particular content. Of course, all the normal caveats apply. Make sure when you're making any video on your channel that it's something you're going to want to make a lot more of, because in a case like this, if he made a video about something he's not passionate about, now you got to make a bunch of videos about things you're not passionate about, and that's not a good thing.
I've also had good experience with creators of having it be series based and giving space in between those uploads. So slightly different strategy, but if we're talking about something that you want to maintain on the channel, having that even once a month for that video series, that does really, really well. I think that would be a good strategy as well, because do you want to pump all of those out in the course of a month, and then you have, of course, all of this highly discoverable, awesome content, but then what? Do you have room to experiment after that, or are you just overly locked into that?
I think a lot of people have the question of, and in this particular case, this creator literally told us that they put out some other non-sequential video content in the interim to avoid breaking their posting schedule. On many occasions, I have broken my posting schedule when something takes off, because that becomes the new priority. Forget about your schedule as soon as something like that happens, because your new priority is to double down on that thing.
And don't post videos just because it's your content schedule.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Unrelated nice. Fun fact for the video.
Listen, don't do something just because you think it has to be done. It's nice to have something that viewers can come back to time and time again on a specific day, and that's great. That's fine. But never let it be the thing and the only reason that you posted content, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to put out something that's less than your best. I think that's pretty good. We'll just add a little tie at the end of here. If you like questions like this and you want to get your own questions answered, there's a link in the description below for the podcast where you can send us a question, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm hungry now.
Oh, are you?
We talked about cake and stuff, and now I'm like, All right, last email. New shorts length question. Well, we think we know what this is going to be about. Let's find out. Hi, Jen and Travis. I recently started a YouTube channel for my podcast. Well, we did as well. And I sprinkle in other content as well. Shorts are part of my strategy, and I tried to make one longer than a minute a couple of days ago as a test, and it's still just sitting there as a normal video. My question is, do you know what the process is? What the process will be there? I've read and seen that it just takes time to become a short. I can live with that, but the one I made was somewhat topic, so it's time sensitive. So it might kill some of that momentum I had. That alone might make me avoid using that longer format. Love the show. Just recently found you've been very helpful. So yeah, Mike, we actually kind of answered this before. I want to make sure that I specifically answer your question, because in case someone missed it or if they jumped around with the timestamps. So the eligibility for videos that are shorts to be longer than a minute to be picked up by the short shelf happened on the 15th. However, they are not currently being picked up, which we joked about in a previous podcast when we were talking about. It's kind of like pre-ordering. Like, what's the point of this? So what you're seeing is normal for now. Once that new system is turned on and in place, you should see shorts longer than a minute be picked up as fast as normal shorts are. So in your particular case, because it was timely, it might be better just to edit it down to a regular short size so that you can get on the YouTube short shelf faster. But this is the problem with this. Like, they rolled this out differently than what they normally do for something like this. Typically, they tell you that, okay, yeah, people are starting to get access to it, and now you can test it out. In this case, they were like, on this date, these things will be eligible. And okay, cool. So everyone started doing it, and now it's like, oh, but they don't actually work for another like week or so. What?
Surprise!
Huh? That'd be like us saying, okay, so we recorded a podcast last week, but you won't be able to listen to it for like 3 weeks. Like, oh, okay,
cool.
What am I supposed to do with that?
Like, we tease an upcoming, like, everything we talk about. We're like, oh,
we tell you all the secrets of creating a viral YouTube video. But you can't listen to it for like 3 weeks.
Not for 3 weeks, no.
But you can download it now. You just can't listen to it for 3 weeks. It's kind of the same thing. Like, what are we talking about? Same thing. All right. Real quick, I just want to read one or two of the amazing comments we've been getting on the YouTube channel, just because
I like this as like an alternate. Like, what are we watching on YouTube, and what comments are we liking?
I love this. Well, these just came in while we were on like the call, so I'm just gonna do them real quick.
Okay,
y'all are absolutely hilarious. Huh?
I said, okay, multitasker.
I'm trying to do everything. Y'all are absolutely hilarious together. I'm growing tired of YouTube advice, but not this channel's advice. YouTube are so genuine and encouraging. It shows you actually care. Bravo. I showed Jen this one earlier. I love that. I think it's fantastic. Fantastic. Here's another one. I truly miss Dr. Savage. It was always hilarious to see him. The liking, I ought to like channels like I like yours. Others until I've seen more. Yeah, it's. We'll think about it. We'll think about it.
That's so funny.
We'll think about it. I watch this podcast every week because you two are freaking great. I am not a creator. I have nothing to do with YouTube. Most of the time, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. But you're so much damn fun. Great show. I need a Travis and Jen t-shirt. What? This comment just came in while we were recording the podcast. How did you find
us? Maybe they have a creative like partner, or I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those, you just stumbled across something. You're like, what is this?
What is this? This is the craziest comment I think we've ever gotten. I'm not even sure
funniest thing
how to take this. I mean, I'm overwhelmingly flattered. That's honored. An incredible comment. I'm super honored.
So they said they're not a creator?
No.
Maybe maybe they're thinking about becoming a creator. Maybe they're dipping their toes.
Bro, if we make them into a creator, it would be the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so funny. Maybe they thought the name of the podcast was something else, and then they started listening. They're like, wait, I like that.
I know, right?
Maybe they thought it was like TV, like Tube Talk.
This is a comment on the YouTube video. So I don't know what I'm shook.
Wait, Travis is speechless right now. What?
I am speechless because how can we're that entertaining, Jen? That's amazing. Well, look.
Wow.
We are flattered, humbled, and that's amazing. Thank you so much for that incredible comment. Oh, shut up. Oh, wait, I have a timer going off. That means
you be nice to Siri.
Yeah. Well, that one's Alexa, so we need to leave her alone.
All right. Well, she's
a little bit of a thing. Anyway, thank you so much for listening and joining us. Of course, we're going to try to do another episode this coming up week, but we did 2. It was great. The amount of comments came in. I love seeing extra views come to the channel because we're throwing it up there. And it seems like even on the audio podcast side, people are still downloading it at the same rate, which means we're not saturating people, which is great. That was one thing I was worried about, but I guess it was a worry I didn't need to worry about. And I guess that's it, Jen. So, wait, did you randomly eat one of your little things over there?
I did, and I had to close the bag.
Did you see it?
I literally had to seal the bag.
That's
because
gross.
I'm an addict.
Well, here's the funny thing. So there was a couple people that commented on the channel that they live in other countries and they don't know what candy corn is. And I told one of them, "You're lucky to not know." Ugh.
Candy corn.
It's a piece of plastic. Let's just be honest.
It's like wax.
It really is. It's a piece of wax that you eat. Think of a candle. If you have a candle, burn it down a little bit and then eat the candle. And that's what it tastes like.
Imagine if you had an edible candle that was candy corn.
Please do not eat the candle. This is not medical advice. I was joking when I said eat a candle. Don't eat a candle, please. Anywho, I just want to remind everyone one thing.
That is statistically insignificant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll see all of y'all in the next one.